right here is this is Mr. T takes on Mark Whalberg in a Chicago versus Boston street fight. This is no holds barred, of course. So basically, these guys are they've been kind of going back and forth about whose city is better, Chicago or Boston. Well, they're going to square it off and settle their differences in the ring like anybody else on our show. As Mr. T ready for action, as is Mark Whalberg, who hits him with a clothesline. We don't see a lot of Whalberg. Mr. T coming back to our roster after a little bit of a hiatus. But these guys getting a chance to settle their differences about whose town is better and tougher or whatnot. As Whalberg right away viciously going after Mr. T. Mr. T with a back body drop. T actually has some experience in a wrestling ring. As you guys remember, he was actually involved in the first two WrestleManias, feuding with the legendary Roddy Piper, as well as teaming with the legendary immortal Hulk Hogan to face again Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. But today he's here for himself, back on the roster. Oh, Mark Whalberg takes him down face first. Marky Mark started out in the musical business. That didn't work out for him, so he went into the acting business, and he's actually done pretty well for himself, I'd say, as he measures Mr. T. Mr. T puts the brakes on, though. He's not going to get Mr. T like that. He's a veteran himself, Mr. T. Oh, my goodness, what a face buster. These guys pulling out all stops, showing each other what they know from different their cities. There's a nice DDT by Mr. T. Pride of Chicago right there. Mean Streets of Chicago is Mr. T as he hits with a knee and a clothesline. And now waits on Mark Whalberg. Oh, what a right hand. Of course, we know he was in the movie with Sylvester Stallone. Clubber Lang defeated Sylvester Stallone once. Rocky Balboa, another guy who was on our roster for a while. As Whalberg getting the Chicago beat down by Mr. T right now. What Mr. T's got to be careful of is if Mark Whalberg starts to get some bearings, because he is Boston strong. As a chin breaker, and now Whalberg, that's exactly what Mr. T is finding out right now. Ooh, but Whalberg sent hard into the corner, and now vicious kicks to the face. Mr. T, actually also a WWE Hall of Famer for his contributions to pro wrestling, as well as Hollywood, as Mark Whalberg busted open and his face gets introduced to that top turnbuckle and dropped face first again. And oh, Mr. T right hands puts down Whalberg, and Mr. T picks up the win. I guess on this occasion Whalberg got the Whalberg, although he showed he was tough, I guess Mr. T grew up in the mean streets of Chicago, and that kind of makes you even more so a dangerous individual. But let me tell you, Boston's no picnic either. These guys gave it their all, but in the end, I think what it came down to is, what it really came down to is the fact that of the experience factor, as Mr. T has been in a wrestling ring before, and Mark Whalberg not so much. And there's a right hand right there. That could have been an over right there, but Whalberg showed his Boston strong by kicking out of that. So congratulations, Mr. T, on defeating Mark Whalberg. Shows that he still's got it, ladies and gentlemen. He's still just as tough as he was back in the 80s.
Here is your winner, Mr. T.
Congratulations, Mr. T, getting the victory. All right. All right, well, congratulations, Mr. T. Settles that score, I guess. More action coming your way.